Welcome, one and all, to yet another season of the Ocho Trivia Challenge. It is me, your commissioner, as always, joined by my beautiful four-time champion teammate, Kyle Qualls. Kyle, how are you today?
Oh, I'm great. Anytime that there's trivia on the horizon is a great day. I believe it was Barney Stinson who said he's always pre-coital, and we are always pre-trivia.
Well said. All right, so yeah, season nine, we're almost to a full 10, which is crazy to think about. So we'll just jump into the show. A little bit of news and stuff like that, a lot of predictions and stuff that will make us look silly later, but that's what people like. It motivates them when they can be mad at us. So you're welcome for giving me that fuel ahead of time. So first up, some news and notes, the developments from the off season. First up, we have Don't Blow It has retired from the league. We will all miss them dearly, of course, and we've renamed the Commissioner's Trophy in their honor because they're the most likable team of all time. So, the team that best embodies their spirit will win that award from now on. Ethan has retired as both a player and a maker of games, because who knows? But he's still going to host games, so you will see Ethan every week. He just won't be doing anything else. But the Hypnotoads have yet to choose their new player, so we're still waiting on that. Um, Steven Rosenbaum mentioned at the end of last season that he was thinking about retiring. He has decided to return to the league, so we will have more season 5 or 6 Rookie of the Year Steven Rosenbaum in our future. And Neil is back, not as a player or as a host, but as a game maker. So behind the scenes, Neil will be screwing you over, but you
Yes.
won't be able to confront him to his face, which I'm
It
sure
was
will.
always it was always the behind the scenes things that Neil was best at.
Exactly. So now he'll be working hard to screw people over from behind the curtain. All right. Without further ado, we're gonna figure out the division draw for this season. So for those who don't remember or are new, there's 4 divisions of 3 teams, and we're gonna randomly assign them based on how you finished last season. And the only complication is that Lick Mike Walls has to be in the Truax division. Sandusky's must be in the Barker division because you know you can't forget your history. What is it? You know, heritage, whatever the Southern people say. Uh, anyway, um, so if Sandusky's are drawn into Luke Mike Walls' group, we will just swap them with the team in their pot that is drawn into a group with the number directly below. You'll see in the next slide. Like if both teams are drawn into pot three, Sandusky's will be just swapped with a team in pot two, or group two rather. And then there are the pots based on last season's finishes. So one team from each of those lines will be in each of the groups. We will flip over now to this handy dandy website that's going to assign this for us. Qualls, can you see this okay?
Yes.
Yeah, and this is live, so none of us know what's going to happen here. Let's find out together. Ooh, interesting.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. So there we have it. Our groups for the season: Scarlet Knights, Night Pandas, and Frankchester United in one division. Night Pandas, welcome to the league. There, that's a tough draw. Um, you have Mentally Illest, Chicken Hawks, and Sandusky's in another group. That will be a great group as well. Lick Mike Walls, Macabros, and Pool Boy in another. And lastly, you will have a Hypnotoads, Simple Jacks, and Hive Mind. Qualls, what jumps out to you here? Maybe a tougher group, a weaker group. To me, it seems like they're more well-rounded than last season when we had like maybe one group of death and a couple easier ones.
Yeah, I'd say definitely more well-rounded than last year. I'd say if there was a weaker one, maybe what? My cat's yelling at me. I would say maybe group number 4 with Hypnotoad, Simple Jackson, Hive Mind. We'll get into our standings predictions in a minute. If there's a strongest one, I don't know. I don't know if there is a clear strongest one. I mean, I know for us, having to play Pool Boy twice. I think were we going to do that anyway? No. Okay.
No, it's not ideal for us.
Okay. Yeah, it's not great. Macabros are very much a wild card. So that's an interesting one, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. If I had to pick one as the strongest, maybe I'd go with Group Two,
Hmm.
Mentally Illest, Chicken Hawks, and the Sandusky's. People seem to forget that Mentally Illest have made the semifinals in 2 straight seasons,
Yeah.
or 3 straight seasons even. So yeah, good showing there. But anyway, very interesting groups. So that's something to look forward to this season. Now we will move into a little quick discussion of our newest team, the Night Pandas. We're looking forward to having them in the league, replacing Don't Blow It. It will be Max, Jake, and Justin. Most to all of you will know Max as the former league sub and came on second place in the summer tournament last year as part of the Wandering Francos team, along with Spencer. So he has experience in the league. He knows what he's doing. He's a good player. We look forward to him. Jake, same first name as Footer, so that means he's probably going to be pretty good if that's any indication. And Justin's name, also starts with J, and that's all I have on him. Qualls, wildly speculate about what you're expecting from the Night Pandas, please.
I'm expecting spectacular branding and graphic design. It goes to show you what a team can accomplish when they put some thought into their name. Uh,
Exactly.
Not taking a shot at any new teams last season in particular, but yeah, I without giving away too much, I have some pretty high hopes for the Night Pandas. Max is obviously very experienced, and he's not just going to recruit scrubs. He's here to win. He's been waiting in the wings for as long as I can remember. So it's his time.
Indeed, well said. All right, let's move on into our what we're calling new DBI power rankings. Obviously, Don't Blow Up, we're the most beloved team in the league by hosts and players alike. Um, so we've decided to rank our five teams we think are most likely to take their place as the darlings of the league. Qualls, your number one team is the Night Pandas.
Of course, yes. We already love Max. He's got that wholesome DBI energy, and I expect nothing less from his teammates.
Well said. First, I put Frankchester United. This is from an on-field perspective. We're not going to get political here, but not huge complainers. They've got Frank is always an entertaining guy in game, and they've got Steven Botchner, the silent assassin, who is one of, if not the most liked individual player in the whole league. So they have a lot going for them. Next up, you have Simple Jacks.
Triple Jacks. I mean, they're the Chicago boys as well. They came into the league at the same time as DBI. They're seemingly the heir apparent. I've been a Simple Jack stan for quite a while, though if not as big as I was a DBI stan. So they're an easy number two for me.
Right. Number two, I went with the Night Pandas as well. Same reasons as you. Who doesn't love Max? Just a great guy all the way around. So I would expect his friends to be more of the same. So looking forward to having them in the league. Three, you went with Hive Mind.
Yeah, I this is a bit of a hot take. I think Spencer will calm down a bit. They're already with Eli and Austin, they're already pretty likable. It's just that Spencer's tirades and his hate kind of get in the way. But I think he'll chill out a little bit.
Third, I also went with Hive Mind, but for the exact opposite reason. I don't think Spencer will chill out. And while I think he will get into some fights with the other team, I think that the rivalry with the Chicken Hawks, I think the majority of the league is on Hive Mind's side. So that makes them one of the most popular teams because the battle lines have been drawn in their favor.
That's a
So
good
that's
point.
yes. Number four, you have, excuse me, apparently I'm going first. I have Simple Jacks. Um, for the same reason as you, Chicago connection, we got to have that lineage. Um, Not big complainers, pretty chill guys, so it's hard to go against them.
Mhm.
And fourth, you have the Hypnotoads, which is definitely a hot take.
Yes. I mean, Ethan's gone, so what's not to like? Towns is incredibly chill, and I think Fa has also mellowed out a bit from his kind of like early villain arc. So I think they're just kind of a fun team, and largely dependent on who they get, but based on known quantities, I think they're pretty likable.
Right, that's true. The third player, excuse me, will make a difference here. Your last team, you gone with Pool Boy.
Yes, even though Noah is a snake and shouldn't be trusted,
True.
I think they're in terms of like comedy, they're probably one of the like one of the top ranked teams. They're just a fun watch, and they're pretty unproblematic all said and all when all is said and done. So yeah.
Yeah, to wrap this up, I went with Sandusky's Daycare. I don't know if I would call them one of the most well-liked teams to play against, but now they've been so bad for so long. They're starting to adopt the DBI lovable loser lineage. So someone has to carry that mantle. I think it'll be I don't think it will be them, as you'll see in the predictions. But based on recent track record, it is them. So maybe that gives them some likability from that perspective. So yes, Sandusky's Daycare is mine. Now we get into what people really like to be able to hate, the projected standings. Qualls, I'll let you run through yours, and then I'll run through mine, and then we'll laugh about it.
Yes. Okay, so a little bit of a hot take. Matt and I went in very different directions on Hypnotoads. I have
We
them
did.
finishing first. They were, consistently in the top half of the playoff field. I imagine there's going to be a little bit of apathy from both LMQ and Chicken Hawks this season. I think it's just kind of Hypnotoad's turn. Uh, uh, Pretty balanced, I think, between Faw, Towns, and Ethan in years past. So if they could just kind of get something comparable to Ethan, I think that's a pretty good chance that they have a good season. And then, of course, like I said, LMQ and Chicken Hawks. Frankchester United, they've been pretty consistently good over the past couple of seasons. Night Pandas, again, for a little bit of a hot take, but I think with Max's experience and trivia knowledge, I think they're going to be a formidable team. Sandusky's Daycare, they're due. It's we keep picking them to make the playoffs, and they keep letting us down. But they, if they could just stop getting in their own way, I think they could do it. Pool Boy, a very good team. It's with Vigrant, it's really hard to not pick them to make the playoffs. Macabros, I think they got very unlucky in a lot of games last season, and I think just by kind of regression to the mean, they'll kind of improve. Mentally Illest, again, another slight on our several times semifinalists, but I don't want it like I don't think there's any bad teams anymore.
No.
I think it just sucks that someone has to miss the playoffs. And then kind of a hot take as well. Scarlet Knights, I have them finishing 10th after they got off to a scorching hot start last season and finished ultimately with 8 wins. I just think, I don't know. I just don't. I think someone's going to underperform unpredictably, and I'm predicting it's them. Up next, I have Hive Mind, Unfortunate, and then Simple Jacks at 12.
Okay. As you mentioned, we did go in some different directions here. I went with the Chicken Hawks first because, championship hangover situation for us, like you said. So I went with Lick Mike Walls second. Pool Boy third, just because I think they're one of the most well-rounded teams in the league. It's hard for them to be bad without Vigran, um, or with Vigran, excuse me. So you just gotta put them up there. Scarlet Knights, I don't think they are the world beater that we saw the first couple weeks of last season for several reasons, but I think they're still a very strong team, and Surya is top five-ish player in the league, and they have two good other players, so that's why I put them four. And then I'm high on the Macabros. I think, like you said, they got a little screwed over last season. They, as you'll see in a second, could not be any worse than their niches, and I don't think they're actually that bad at them. So I expect some turnaround there. Mentally ill is sixth. I think that's a good spot for them. And like you said, so we refuse to not believe in Sandusky's against our better judgment. Eventually, they will make the playoffs again, and maybe that will be this season. I said this to you before we started recording. They haven't made it since season 4, which is crazy.
Mhm.
Um, so I saw them at seventh. Frankchester United, Hive Mind, Night Pandas. Night Pandas, I think, will be good, but you have to hedge on a first-year team. Um, I think those three teams might end up all with the same record, so a play-in situation there. I've got the Hypnotoads all the way down 11. I think they're going to struggle without Ethan. Ethan was the glue that held that team together. Without him, who knows what'll happen? And I have the Simple Jacks last, which is kind of a slight to them because they were good last season.
Yeah.
Okay, bold prediction time. You're up first.
Yeah, as I already said, Scarlet Knights missed the playoffs. Were statistically one of the best last season. I just think, it's, again, like with with any major sport, you got your NFLs and Ochos. It's like sometimes teams just really inexplicably underperform, and I think it's going to happen to someone, and I just happen to believe it's the Scarlet Knights for no particular reason.
Right. I went with Sandusky's make the playoffs for the first time since season 4. It's been a long time, so it counts as a bold prediction, even though we both picked it. So
Mhm.
that's what I went with for my first bold pick.
Yes. Up next, Max finishes top 3 in MVP voting. I'm really cheering hard for the Night Pandas. I think, like I said, like Max, when he's played, he's been a little as a substitute. He's been a little bit quiet. I think it's he doesn't want to step on anyone's toes, but this is his team now. This is his
Yep.
show, and he's just gonna go off. That's what I think.
Well said. All right, for mine, I went with the Hypnotoads struggle without Ethan's leadership. Like I said, I put them in 11th. We clearly have different takes about what Ethan was bringing to the Hypnotoads table, but I think it was a lot, and I think they're going to fall like a stone without him,
Mm,
even if the player they get to replace him knows more trivia than he does. So that's my take.
wow. All right, yes. Also, sticking with the Hypnotoads, I think with Ethan leaving, the league average testosterone will skyrocket. And having one man with zero testosterone in his entire body was really dragging the rest of the league down, and I think we'll see an incredible recovery.
Well said. My final bold prediction is that the Macabros will improve their niche percentage by 150% and make the playoffs with ease. If you increased it by 150% from last season, that would give you around 50%, maybe a hair under. I think that's easily doable for them. And if they did that, I think they'd be a top five team. So I am high on the Macabros, especially with Stephen R coming back because he's their best player. Um, Lastly, we only got one league-wide submission, so I just threw it in here. Steven Botchner predicts the same thing every season, which is that Frank Chester United will beat Lick My Qualls for the first time, and it still never happened. But maybe it'll happen this season. It's good to dream, Steven. And Qualls, we will be dreaming of the start of the season, which is only 2 weeks away. I'm looking forward to it. I know you are as well. I'll give you the last word here before we sign off.
Yes, I will be sleeping with a spoon under my pillow in hopes that I will wake up to the Ocho.
Mm. Well said. All right. Well, it was nice talking with you, and I look forward to playing with you in 2 weeks.